This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth with some good news today, my friends. A federal judge has just recently ruled that fluoride is a neurotoxin in a massive historic lawsuit. And this has just led to Montreal now beginning to phase out fluoride in the West Island by 2025. Montreal aims to stop fluoridating West Island water in 2025. The change would affect more than 143,000 people. Montreal is phasing out water fluoridation for the West Island. What's the risk? Oh, just a court ruling that found that fluoride levels pose an unreasonable risk to children's IQ. Federal court orders the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, to take regulatory action addressing fluoride risk in drinking water. On September 24th, a federal judge ordered the EPA to take regulatory action to eliminate the unreasonable risk to the health of children posed by the practice of water fluoridation. The plaintiffs argued that fluoride poses risks to human health, particularly neurodevelopmental harm in children. The court found that the EPA had failed to adequately address the concerns under the Toxic Substances Control Act. As a result, the EPA will either appeal the decision or revisit its fluoride risk assessment. Well, it's about damn time, because many of us have been warning about the effects of fluoride on the neurological developmental issues for children for many, many years now. Here's a clip of me from well over a decade ago where I explain that fluoride is toxic, and I also show a study that suggests that fluoride has a negative impact on the neurodevelopment of children. And now this debate brings up a crucial question here. How exactly did the fluoridation of our water even get started in the first place? Even the globalists at the Sierra Club admit that fluoride is not essential to dental health. And as I'm sure a lot of you are aware out there, fluoride is indeed toxic. Even a recent study by Harvard University found fluoride to have a substantial impact on child's neurological development of children. One of the senior authors of the study actually said that fluoride seems to fit in with lead, mercury, and other poisons that cause chemical brain drain. Again, folks, that was over a decade ago where I was talking about how fluoride is causing a chemical brain drain and it's potentially toxic for the neurological development of children's brains. So I think it's safe to say I've been vindicated. Sometimes it takes years. In this case, sometimes it takes over a decade, but the truth always prevails. So now, Montreal officials plan to end water fluoridation by year's end, igniting backlash from West Island municipal leaders who argue the decision lacks input from public health experts and the community. Wait a minute, didn't the decision to put this stuff in there in the first place lack any input from health experts or the community? I mean, let's not forget how all of this started in the first place. To convince the public to fluoridate their water, it took a massive propaganda campaign. And that's because since the early 20th century, this substance was well known to be the waste byproduct of the aluminum and fertilizer industries. And the leaders of these industries feared that their fluoridate pollution was going to cause lawsuits, or that it would warrant government regulation and would end up leading to them losing billions of dollars. So at first, the industry disposed of its waste product by selling it to rat poison manufacturers. The problem is there was way more fluoride waste being produced than there were rat poison manufacturers who wanted to buy it. So did the aluminum and fertilizer industries do something sinister, like create a rat problem? That is to say, did they just try to stir up a demand for rat poison? Nope. They decided to do something far more sinister by using statistics to find a correlation between water supplies that bear the very small trace amounts of fluoride with the lower rates of tooth decay. And this minuscule connection was completely overblown in what can only be described as the largest public disinformation campaign of the 20th century. What was really going on to this solution to the rat problem that the aluminum and fertilizer industry had was that if these rat poison companies couldn't buy their waste, well then these industries would just use the government to legislate a market. And instead of using honest market competition to look for alternative uses for fluoride, or instead of looking for ways to not create fluoridate in their waste at all, instead, they decided it would be better to inject it into the public drinking supply. And that's because it dumbs us down and it makes us docile. Well, thankfully, some people are now finally starting to see it for what it is. City cites health concerns for children. The city also points to a report by the United States National Toxicology Program, which found that higher levels of fluoride exposure, such as drinking water containing more than 1.5 milligrams of fluoride per liter, are associated with lower IQ in children. Folks, if kids are using toothpaste with fluoride in it, and they're using mouthwash with fluoride in it, and then they're drinking this fluoridated water at unregulated amounts, don't you think some of them might potentially exceed the so-called safe amounts? It's absolutely unbelievable. So cheers to Montreal for proposing that they take fluoride out of the public water drinking supply in West Island by 2025. And kudos to that US judge as well for putting the EPA on notice because they failed to address everyone's concerns that this is lowering the IQ of children. So where do you guys stand on the forced medication of an entire population? Are you for or against the mass fluoridation of the public drinking water supply? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, please check the links to where you can find me at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Thank you so much to everyone who takes 1 minute today to contribute to my efforts there. I can't do this work without you, so thank you so much to everyone who donates today. That's all for today, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to click the thumbs up button, share this video, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.